Hi everyone, welcome to Stamping Flair. My name's Rochelle, and thanks for joining me today for my creative escape, my weekly Facebook Live. Tonight we are creating a fancy fall card, and this week my theme has been the Here's the Man suite. So that's my product of the week. Every week I try to showcase one product or a theme. So if you haven't checked my Facebook page out previously, you don't follow it, that's the general um, where I've run it. So I have something that so you can see something's happening there. I'll give a second for everyone to hop on and say hello to me. I'm glad that you're here. Um, Excuse my voice, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather and sounding a bit nasally, um, but not too bad. Um, so this is an easy fun fold. So if you did want to make it with me, you just need a sheet of A4 cardstock. So generally, if I try a fun fold, I always say start off with maybe a cardstock that I do work with my retired cardstock when I try a new fun fold or a fancy fold, because that always then if you do make a mistake or something, or maybe a scrap piece of cardstock, so you're not wasting as such. But I have to say I didn't follow that on this one. I just kind of went with it. It's a simple one, and but it is a bit of a wow um, fun fold. So the Here's the Man suite is in our annual catalog. I didn't actually select the page number, but I do want to show it to you. Just bear with me while I pick it. And so the easiest way, if you're like me and haven't really checked out what page it's on at the front. You'll get all the suites, and it's on from pages 78 to 79. And I do say this is a great suite for working with for guy cards, particularly. Of course, the name itself lends itself to that. But some of the sheets of paper that come with it, you can use the other side. Like it's very neutral, so it works with any projects. You could say. I think the something unusual with this piece, this designer series paper, uh, uh, is that you have some die cuts with it. Just bear with me. I'm just going to check that there is sound on this video. Please tell me whether you can hear me. Cassie, can you check that, darling, please? Is something telling me I may not be able to be heard? Oh, all right, I was a bit worried. It gave me a warning. So this these pieces, which you can see here, there's two sheets, so they're 12 by 12 sheets, and these actually just pop out and they're ready to go pieces. So what I did for this is, because they tend to fall out if you just leave it out in a bag or whatever. So I pull them out, put it in a sandwich bag or a Ziploc bag. So for today's card, I have got soft, succulent cardstock, and let me just see. I'm just going to open out the arm of our paper trimmer, and you are going to need the cutting dimensions are 21 centimeters, and it's 8 inches by 8.5, so 21 by 20 centimeters. Now I will have a tutorial for my newsletter subscribers. So every week, your this tutorial is handed out. I put that in my newsletter. to my subscribers. So you will have cutting dimensions, and I will also put a template for you to make it easy so you can recreate this card anytime. So with our trimmer, that is the cutting blade, and the gray is your scoring blade. So important to remember when you're creating fancy folds and things, because sometimes you've got to score and sometimes you've got to cut. So we're on the long side, which is the 21 centimeter side, and we're going to score at 5 centimeters, at 10 centimeters, 15, and 21. Now this tutorial, I actually, or this fancy fold, there's various versions of this, but the one that I am following is from Lisa Curcio. I found that the easiest to follow and a simple uh, explanation. Then turn it to your left, and you're going to now cut this. So this is your scoring blade, that gray, and you're going to cut it at 5 centimeters and at the next 5. So 5 and 10, but it becomes 5. Okay, and then so you end up with 3 pieces of cardstock. So now I will bring in my bond folder, which is not my greatest bond folder, only because it's dirty. Not dirty, it's got stained. So we're going to burnish these well. So where I scored it, we'll just burnish all these score lines. Please ask me any questions as we go along. If anything, I'm happy to go over it. There's no issues there at all. Or if anything is unclear, sometimes what I might think is easily understood, it's I've done it a few times, so it might not quite transmit the same way. So we're just scoring all those little pieces as well the same way. So I score where I'm burnishing it. So if the score, we score it there, I am folding it that way. So where the indent is, I'm folding it, putting that on the outside. That's always a question that I get asked, which way to fold, especially on a piece of a card base or something. So you can use tear and tape, not tear and tape. I would use Seal Plus on this, or I'm just using my liquid glue. So we're going to fold, put glue on the inner, and then I will just set that flat, and we're just going to bring that like that. So if we've cut and scored right, that should just sit correctly. All right, then you've got one little box there, and we'll do the same with the other one. And this is I think I would say there are certain fancy folds that I go to if I want something a bit special, but they're quick. I always want like a simple fancy fold. This is one of them. Like I've just learned this, and very quick, and you can, I think, make a few of them. Like if for Christmas I want something for the family where I'm sending them interstate or something, I want a few of these. This would be easier to get through a few. So we're doing the same thing with that larger piece. So I'm just nicely making sure that that sits well. let's say good. So that we've got our 3 pieces there. So what I do is put that join at the back, and then you've got 2 with the join there. So you kind of, I would preferably put that join piece towards the back, right? So you're going to have this like that. You can see that. And then we'll flatten that. So we've got, you can have your 2 join pieces like that and mark just with the B, so you know that's the back. And because we're going to glue, so we're the back and the bottom, okay? So the B for the back and the bottom, and you're going to add glue at the bottom there, or through that. You want that really stuck down well. So this is the front of the card, or the front of your cube. It's not a cube, whatever that shape is. So then stick that down where that middle score line is, just butt that right against that. We're going to put glue on this bottom half as well. I'm going to butt that right against that and just have it right next to it. So now we've got a nice square, and that's basically how that fits in your envelope. Now, how does that pop-up open? So when you open that out, that sits like that, okay? I'm just gonna make sure that's good, but yeah, so that's your, can you see that from the side? I'm just trying to show you there. That will sit like that. So now to decorate this, so that's your basic card done. Nice and easy, easily set up in that sense. Now to decorate this, I've got some designer series paper from the He's the Man suite, which I pre-cut. I hope you saw all that, so you can see I've kind of got one of the backs different, but it doesn't matter. It's just it comes up nicely. So I made cut some early espresso. So what we're going to layer that in between there for 4.6 by 4.6 centimeters. So just having a gap of 4 millimeter around, and we need 6 pieces of that. You can do the whole thing in designer series paper. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so we can work it out. And just stick with me, because at the end, I'm going to show you another card I made with this. And I'm going to cut a few more because somehow this may have fallen out. I just get a piece of, and I've got 2 pieces for the back. So we'll decorate the back as well, because that's where you're going to write on it. I'll just get some early espresso. So we're going 4.6. And this He's the Man suite really coordinates well with quite a few of our, I will say, coordinates with lots of our stamp sets in the catalog. Really good set, because it's not like one particular hobby or one sport or anything like that. It just works well. So we've got our little pieces there. Then I've got some of the designer series paper, which is the here's the matte paper. So I'm going to stick down using our glue. We're going to mat them through. So we'll do 4 like that, and then we'll do some stamping on 2 of them. Just for some variety. It's a good way to use up your scraps doing it like this. I find this is handy. All right. So now let's do, this is what I'm thinking. We'll stick these down. It's going to sit like that. So we're going to stick this down on the 2 front squares. And then we'll do these 2. We'll stick these 2 at the top. I'm leaving that blank for now. And I'll stick these 2 up the top. So now we've decorated 4 pieces or 4 squares that are done. I'm going to bring in my soft succulent. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Wait, I've got 2 little squares. They're the same size as the designer series paper, which is 4.2 by 4.2. And I'm going to do a little blending with soft succulent and some old olive, just to create a bit of a difference there. So blend that color in on the side. Then we'll bring in old olive. Because I went from a light to dark, I didn't really worry about cleaning it. But brush. So I'm bringing in it from the top. I'm going to leave my old olive open, and we're just going to do a little bit of stamping. Alright, I've got the Mountaineer stamp set. So this is one of the stamp sets I would say that really goes well with this set, because it's got the mountains in the background on our designer series paper, and you can kind of match that up. So we'll pick, oh no, I have already mounted the stamp, so we won't pick it out of there, but I've already mounted them on this, and I think I'm just going to quickly, I forgot the dies. I want to get the dies for this, which is the Majestic Mountain die. That we can always cut it. Flipping through my dies here. Or maybe I've already pulled it out. I cannot remember. It's all good. We'll just cut it. It'll be there somewhere. We can always cut it. I might have taken it out. Okay, let's see whether we want it yet. We'll do it in the dark color. I was going to stamp it off, but I wasn't sure. Let's do one stamped off. Maybe the stamped off might work. The stamped off, I think. All right. Oh yeah, I had taken it. See, I underestimate myself sometimes. So we've got dies for this, and let's stamp that again. I think it needs to be a touch. It's sort of in between, isn't it? See what we can get. The other one was just a touch too light. All right, let's die cut this. And we've got ourselves some trees. And then I'll come back and do the other one. Just going to use the mini machine, so I'll cut that off. This is now we're just embellishing this, but I'm going to show you another card I did, which I think you'll find cute. This is our mini stamping card and emboss machine. It's really lightweight. I like it, especially for doing my lives. It's handy, and it's handy for taking with you. Have I got an extra one in there? No. Handy for taking with you traveling as well. I'll cut that out. Now, if you've got something like this on your wish list, or anything really, if you've got a long wish list, think of adding it to a starter kit and get yourself some $66 worth of extra product when you purchase the starter kit. So you're paying $169, but you get to select $235 of product. And at the moment, till 31st August, you also get an extra planner worth $79 with it, which is it's a total bonus, and it's great that you can get that extra value in your starter kit. You also get to enjoy a 20% discount, and you don't have to purchase anything till December. So if you are purchasing regularly, it's something that will work for you, I think. Well, I know it because I did it. Like I did one purchase with Stampin' Up, and then I just joined because it was just too good for me, and I joined to enjoy the discount. So now I've just got the same AliEspresso mat as the same size. It's 4.6 by 4.6, and I've just added that piece we blended in before. And had another piece, I'm sure, but yeah. And we'll add a bit of glue there and add the next piece. Now I do want to cover up a bit of that edge, which I have probably been a bit off with my die cutting. You can see maybe it's moved. So we'll just go on that edge, and that'll just take that stark white off it. And I might do that in soft succulent so it blends in better and adds a little bit of depth by doing that darker. And even if I hadn't done that, like move that die, it still would look nice just doing that on pieces like this. And we'll do it on the other piece as well, on the other tree. All right. I'm going to give you ideas how to put these not the embellishments, the sentiments on. So we'll go ahead and glue this on here. Maybe flatten that out, that'll be easier. So you can make it, it'll stay straight like that, easier for you. I'll just put the bit where it's the soft succulent is more to the side. I can see a little bit of where that cutting has gone weird. We can fix that up. Okay, now let's put our trees on. So I'm thinking like there, maybe, and one here. So we'll add some dimensionals. Now when you stick them down, just put some at the bottom because your tree is going to be going above that, so you don't want the dimensionals to be visible above. But you still want them to hold. So that's I'm adding two close together. So we've got that. Next I'm adding this camper, which is one of the die cards from the He's the Man suite. Now this card is going to fold that way, and to make it sit like this, now this is a tip I got from the original when I was watching that, and I found it from Lisa Curcio. I found that really helpful, and this is something you don't need this particular punch. You can do it with anything, but I'm using this is a retired 3/4 inch punch. You can do it with a square. You can do it with just cut a circle. You can do it with any circle you have, or you can just cut a square, and it would do the same. It's the same system. Fold the circle in half and put glue on one side. And you're going to attach that side to the center, somewhere there of, I'm going to use my tweezers, which is in from my embossing kit, and it helps. Now use that like that. You stick it in the center. You only want the top, like one side, to stick down. There is a method in the madness here, so just hang tight. Then we're going to add a bit of glue to this side. And we're going to stick that onto this, right onto that fold. So this fold is going to be onto the crease there. So if you can see what I'm doing there, I'm trying to show that you can see. So that's going to attach like at a right angle against that. And just burnish that properly. You want it to stick down well. And because then that will fold flat when you fold your card. So that little mechanism we have created is going to make that fold. So just let it dry for a little and that'll be fine. So at the moment it's just sitting like that, but then it'll fold flat. Now for a sentiment, we will go with, I did want to put something else, but we'll see. Because I had a few stamp sets and I'm going, oh, what shall we do? We have the Happy Father's Day from the Here's All That Sweet. So we're going to put that, then you go where we're going to put that, and I'll show you. So we'll go the Happy Father's Day. Get a piece of cardstock. I'm just picking some scrap I had. Well, it's not scrap, but it's one I've used. And we'll go with Early Espresso. So it stands out. And we've got the All That Dies. This is part of that suite. Now, I'm not sure that this might be a little bit too big. So for the purpose of what I'm wanting. As you can see, I'm just trying something. Well, it might work. I think it's a little bit too big for that. So we'll just leave that. Maybe we'll see. I've got a few other dies we can work with. And we'll see how that goes. I've got these ones. If not, we will just cut it. That might be too thin. But we'll just see. That's a bit wide. It would still work. But I might just trim that down. And we'll just banner that edge off with our banner punch. I'm going to cut that. Now that's a bit crooked, so we're just going to cut that a little bit crooked. And keep that a little bit of length there. Now, let's, I'll make it a bit narrower. But you can use this obviously with whatever stamp set you've got, or create your own design. I'm doing this for Father's Day, and and we'll trim that down a little bit so it's the same on, and same on both sides. Might not even do that banner thing. I think it's just simple, and I'm going to do some stamping on this. Let's see. All right. So that. So we're just going a little bit there, and we'll bring in our trees so it kind of matches up. And we'll definitely stamp off for this, maybe even a couple of times, because you don't want it really strong. I'm stamping in Old Olive. I just want a hint of the trees, and it just gives enough detail there. Now we'll do what we did for the camper van, and we're going to create that little circle with the bend in it, just again creating a little bit of a mechanism for this sentiment to fold over. It's a great interactive card, this, and nice to open up your envelope and see that. So again, we'll just do one side with the I'm gonna go like that. Maybe I'll move it to the center a bit, and then just hold it for a few seconds. We'll bring our card back in, and we're going to stick that in there, okay? So we'll put our glue in there, and we're going to get this in here and just put it, it's hard to see what I'm doing. I'm just getting it into that groove like I did before. You can leave this open. Let me just put a punch in there just to keep that open so you can kind of see what I'm doing, hopefully. It's a little bit hard, but I'll try and get it. So it's basically in there, but I am sticking the other half down like I did before on the bend. Sorry that you can't see that. I'm trying to show it to you, but it's a bit difficult. So hopefully you can see what I've done there. I'll let it stick and then show you. It's not wanting, it's hard to show and do at the same time when you've got it hidden. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let it sit there for a little bit so till it's like happy. But that's basically our little Father's Day card done. Once that sentiment sits, you can always add a sentiment on the outside, but I thought this is like a nice interactive element. But now my glue has gone everywhere else but on the place that I want it to go, so the glue is gone. So let me put some extra glue. Hopefully that's good. And you just make sure it's straight. All right, so that's how it'll sit. I'm just letting it sit there for the moment. So we've just used the He's the Man Designer Series paper on that, and the He's the Man stamp set, and the Majestic Mountain Stars and Mountaineer stamp set the for the main products, plus our soft succulent, early espresso, and old olive ink pads to create this card. I will have all the measurements for you. So it's one of those cards you just mix and match what you've got and do what you want with your creation. So that's our pop-up triple cube pop-up card. There it is there with the sentiment there. Hopefully that you can see now. With a bit of stamping, you can add some embellishments, embellish that how you like. Now I said I'd show you another one, and you can check out all the details of this card up on my blog, this has gone live at 8 o'clock. This is with the Hippest Hippo dies and stamp set. So this is my hippos. Very cute. We were Never Ever Grow Up was the theme, and I created this Hippest Hippos triple cube pop-up, and you can see that it doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other, two completely different styles of cards suitable for dad and child. And I've used lots of different products on this one. You can check it out. Lots of freebies. So your hippos are free with a $90 order. The coordinating dies are free with a $90 order. And that pretty glimmer paper is one I've colored in. That's one of our products from the mini catalog. This foil paper is a freebie during celebration. All our celebration products are available while stocks last until the 31st of August, which is when the promotion ends. So those are two cards I've created. I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope you give it a try and let me know what you try, and I'd love to see them. And if you have any questions, of course, you can contact me. And if you'd like to know more about the joint offer as well, which is available at the moment, definitely contact me. Just to ask questions. Don't miss out on a great offer, which is all around, but it's extra special right now. Thank you for watching and sharing your evening with me. Please check out my blog post. I've got more photos of these hippos there, a bit more detail which you can catch up on. And make sure you subscribe to my newsletter to get all the directions for this card that I've created. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week, and I'll catch up with you next week. Bye-bye.